Everybody out there who has the same problems that I've been suffering with, I did that for you guys. You know the truth. Everybody knows I won that fight. And if I can come back from where I come from, then you can do it too.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a very special one. We're going to be analysing the fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and I'm going to be attempting to show you why Tyson Fury definitely won that fight. As Tyson said at the beginning, the whole world knows who won the fight, and I'm going to prove it to you. We're going to be taking a look at some highlights of the fight, and I'm going to try and break it down round by round and show you why Tyson Fury deserved to win that fight. So, starting with round one. So if you watch, Deontay Wilder went for an initial flourish, flurry of punches, didn't actually land. Tyson, this is really interesting because Tyson here is showboating, obviously. And again, Deontay goes for that big right hand that doesn't connect. This is really interesting throughout the fight. Deontay tries to land the right again and stiff jab. See? He's 6'9", Wilder's 6'7". Stiff jab again. You see that? Wilder goes for the overhand right again, Tyson answers with the left. He's literally got the counter punches down. Tyson just bobbing and weaving, throwing that stiff jab, and again. And you can see, Fury knows he's won the first round already. On to round two. Exactly the same, Tyson's keeping his distance. See what he's doing with his arms? He's moving his arms in such a way that Deontay doesn't know what he's going to do. And that's what I mean by setting up the counter. It's because Deontay is so confused about what's happening, he doesn't know when he can throw that right hand. Tyson bobbing and weaving again. Deontay tries to come in with the left. Tyson goes for the body. Again, that stiff jab, and Wilder can't hit him. He sticks his arms up in the air, going nowhere near him. Stiff jab. Wilder goes for that massive right hand, and as usual, fails to connect. Fury put him in a headlock in the end. Stiff jab again. See, there's a theme developing here, guys. Wilder manages to land that left hand, and Fury does so well to get out of it. He knows he's won that round. That's second round to Fury. At the moment I have it 10 to Fury in the first round, 9 to Wilder in the first round. 10 to Fury in the second round, 9 to Wilder in the second round. So keep score. Now we move on to the third round. Now this is interesting, because this is where Wilder starts to realise the mistakes he's making and starts to close the gap a little more. So what you'll see is Wilder comes in a lot more direct to Fury, doesn't give him that space, really tries to get in his face early. And now Wilder's wary of that jab and he connects with the left. And now this is interesting because you don't see Fury struggling, but what you do see is you see Wilder starting to come into the fight. He lands a body shot, Fury answers with the left. Deontay Wilder again going for that massive right hand. Fury still showboating, and Deontay answers. Like, Wilder, no doubt, for me, has control of this round. He's coming in close, he's not giving Fury any breathing space. Anytime Fury lands, he's got his guard up. Exactly the same, he's got to come in close, he's got to close that space that Fury has. Fury doesn't stick his arms up in the air because he's pretty sure that he's not won that round. Or even, not even him being pretty sure, but I'm pretty sure everyone in the stadium knew that Fury did not win that because he was a bit clumsy and Wilder was really starting to come into his own. So for me, that round gets scored 10 to Wilder, 9 to Fury. On to round number 4. Now, you'll see in this round, Fury is doing his best to keep that distance. Anytime Wilder comes running at him, he backs away and creates that space between them so he can land the stiff jab. And again, and anytime Wilder answers with a left, all Fury's doing is just parrying. He's ducking and weaving. This was an exceptional round from Fury for me. He's doing exactly what he didn't do in that last round. He's not giving Wilder any chance to close any space. Wilder goes for the massive right and misses again. This pretty much summed up Deontay's night, to be honest. It was the constant failure to land that right hand. And as you can see, Fury's gloves go up in the air. He knows he's won the 4th round. Very comfortable for Fury. We all know he's won the 4th round. So that means for me, Fury 10, Wilder 9. Alright, let's look at round 5. Wilder's got a good guard. He's not being quite as reckless as he was. Now normally he goes for that big right again and misses. Now normally I'd say that not going for that big right is good, because it means that he's not gassing himself out. But what Wilder is doing is he's taking away a massive weapon. So even though he's not being as offensive, his defence is nowhere near as good as Fury. And he knows that. Again, he goes for that big right and the left and misses with both. Fury just lands the stiff jab. That's all he's doing. He's keeping his distance. You can see how easy this is for Fury. He made Wilder look crap. Wilder goes for the massive right and follows it up with the left hook and doesn't land either. Fury clinches to give himself a little bit of time. Round 5 is over, and once again, not quite as convincingly as the 4th, but Fury wins that round 10-9. Right, let's take a look at round 6. Fury just holding his arm out. He knows that that's the space that Wilder can't come into. If you watch here, this is a little bit of a scrappier round. Both fighters landing good shots, but again, Fury just absolutely pummeling Wilder when he holds up that weak guard. Round 6 was a little bit more scrappy because both men had good exchanges, but again, I think you've got to give it to Fury. So for me, for round 6, it's Fury 10, Wilder 9. On to round 7. Now, even though it's late in the fight, both men are still very, very active, and this is where this round gets really, really exciting, because you'd expect fighters to gas, and then there's a really nice body shot from Wilder. Fury lands the double combination, the left and the right. It's really, and this is what's happening. Fury is landing, Wilder's going for that massive right. 3 times he went for that massive right, missed every single time. He goes for it again. He does land with the left, but that doesn't really matter because it's not doing any damage. Again, Wilder is waiting for Fury to hit him. He goes for the massive right and the left and misses both. Just look in that replay. The stiff jab, Wilder is so open, and then all he did was land the follow-up right. It's literally, it was so easy for Fury to rip Wilder apart in this round. And I think round 7 pretty much is a really good sum up of how the fight was actually fought. Wilder boxed very, very poorly, and Fury exposed him for it, as you can see. So, round 7, Tyson Fury 10, Wilder 9. Moving swiftly on to round 8. So, the round starts off pretty fast, pretty dynamically, considering this is the point in the game where the point in the fight where both fighters will be exhausted. I can tell you from experience, it really does. There is your dog. Go away, dog. Get out of here, dog. So Fury here is faking that little windmill, and Wilder's got no idea what to do. And here Fury is doing exactly the same. Double stiff jab, and then he comes back over with the overhand right. Wilder goes for the body shot, and that was the close of the round. So once again, it's just those combos, it's those 1-2s that Fury is finding so easy to break Wilder down. And again, for that round, I can't see how you can give it to anyone other than Fury. So for me, round 8, Tyson Fury 10, Deontay Wilder 9. Right, on to round 9, and I'm sure if you're a Deontay Wilder fan, this was the one you were waiting for me to talk about. So, starts off fairly normal. Fury goes for that stiff jab once more. Wilder is in close, and this is what happens when Wilder gets close to you and manages to land. He puts Fury down, and after that Wilder goes in for the kill, and Fury is really badly hurt, so he's clinching on for dear life. Wilder is actually managing to land that right hand. Fury again tries to get tight to his man to get Wilder off, and actually has a really good resurgence after that, because honestly that would hurt, that really will hurt. And Fury's still doing his best to bob and weave and still taunt Wilder. Wilder still, he's boxing so aggressively. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but he's throwing punches that are meaningless. It's like he's trying to really hurt Fury. And I think that was the difference, is that Wilder was obsessed with the idea of knocking Fury out. Fury holds on, and that's the end of the round. So if we take a look at the knockdown, Wilder connects with that right, follows up with a little bit of a left to the back of the head, and Fury falls. So for me with the knockdown, it's impossible not to give Wilder the round, and because of the knockdown, I give Wilder 10 and Fury 8. Right, let's have a look at round 10. So after the knockdown, you'd actually be very surprised with this round because Fury comes out very, very early. Both men will be gassing by this point, and Wilder is leaving himself so exposed. He thinks he's knocked Fury down, and he thinks that there's not a fight anymore. And Fury is showing that he's still got gas in the tank, and that it's going to take more than just knocking him onto the canvas to end the fight. Fury manages to land with the right, stiff jab again, fakes with the right, and then hooks. It was a beautiful boxing display. If I showed you this round, you would not expect that the man who was dominating this round, you'll see in the replay, there we go, it's that 1-2 once again. It's the left followed by the overhand right. He's been doing it all night, and Deontay is leaving himself exposed to it every time. Now, if I showed you that round 10, you would not think that the man who got knocked on his ass was the one that was leading the charge, because Fury made that round look easy. And this is where the fight gets really interesting. So for me, once again, Tyson Fury 10, Wilder 9. On to the penultimate round, round 11. Wilder is going for it. He needs a big finish at this point because he knows at this point, he's only won 2 rounds. So if he doesn't knock Fury out, he is not winning this fight. That's what's going through his mind. So Wilder really has to come in. He's throwing really wild punches, much more wild than usual, and actually does manage to land on Fury there. But once again, Fury's bobbing and weaving. He's not having any of it. And Fury once again gets up, throws his arms into the air, and after that performance, like, who can blame him? So for me, round 11, generally a little bit controversial. I think for me, once again, just for the fact that in terms of power punches landed, Deontay Wilder, I'm not certain, but I'm pretty certain he didn't land anything in that round. He might have landed 1 punch, I can't remember. Feel free to let me know in the comments below, because I've only got access to certain amounts of the fight. I did watch it live, and my opinions are still the same, but I'm working with highlights. So if he did connect any more than 0 or 1 times, please let me know. But for me, Tyson Fury wins round 11, so that's Fury 10, Wilder 9. Now, round 12 begins, and exactly the same as what I said before. Wilder knows if he doesn't knock Fury out, the fight is over. So Wilder goes ham. Both men are exhausted, and at this point I was worried. I was genuinely worried for Fury that a knockout was coming, because Wilder is actually landing. Fury's clinching for dear life, and Fury's already been knocked down. Honestly, got no idea how Fury managed to get up after being knocked down. In the 12th, I genuinely thought it was over. But this fight was just towards the end of the 12th round. Fury started to try and win the round back. There we go, answers with a double. Wilder is swinging wildly still, and Fury thinks there that he's won the fight, and I can't blame him, because he boxed beautifully. End of round 12, and Fury gets knocked down, so it's got to be, and despite a heroic effort to get back up and continue to fight, which honestly I'm stunned as to how he managed to do it, it's still got to be Deontay Wilder 10, Tyson Fury 8. So if you can be bothered to do the maths, then you will see that for me, the fight was won by Tyson Fury, 115 to Deontay Wilder's 111. I've tried to break it down as best I can. A lot of people won't know how boxing is scored. I do understand that, and I've tried to make it as simple as possible. And I think that kind of sums it up at the end. If you watch at the very, very end, Wilder goes and slumps in his corner, hugs and cries with his trainer, and Fury is up on the ropes, hands in the air, like he knows that he's won the fight. The world knows he's won the fight. Mayweather knows he's won the fight. Lennox Lewis knows he's not won the fight, and the commentators from Showtime Sports know he's won the fight. And for somehow Deontay Wilder was gifted a draw. Well, there we go. I've shown you everything I can. Tried to put together a fight analysis video. Yeah, that's the way I saw the fight. If you have any differences of opinion, please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts because it was a fantastic boxing match. And as much as I think Tyson outboxed Deontay Wilder, I think a draw, I'm not going to say it was a fair result, but it sets up the rematch nicely. If there actually is a rematch. I'm sure there will be, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, if you did enjoy the video, please go down, drop it a like, subscribe to keep up to date with everything that's going on with the channel. Until next time, guys.